That's good. Waiting for my picture to come. Okay, I guess I'm streaming going. My connection says excellent now. This is really cool. I streamed earlier today, and maybe you saw that I had some issues with my local network, and I didn't have Open Broadcaster configured correctly for streaming. So I fixed some of that. I lowered my quality quite a bit, but I think it's fairly decent. In fact, I'm going to come here and see. I'm using low latency now, so I'm going to just test this real quick. Looks like I'm about 20 seconds behind. Much better. So we're almost done actually with this build. While I was off camera, I put on these. Let me hop back over to the top-down view. So I put on all these LEDs on the other side. So now everything is complete. I put the other screen on this side, and I flashed the open source firmware, the QMK firmware, to the Pro Micros. Hey, what's up, guys? Good to see you in the chat. More in real time than I was last time, so super happy about that. What I'm going to do now is put these together. So this is a super cheap case I got. It's actually cut out of the same material, out of this like PCB. Is that the material? Yeah, so it's just the same stuff as these PCB boards. And so it makes it very cheap, but it has this black color. And then it has some different threaded parts in here. This is the plate for the keycaps. So the keycaps that I'm going to be using are these Gatorons. I should have looked up while I was off camera too exactly what model they are. It's a yellow, maybe it's just a Gatoron yellow switch. So it's a linear switch, and that means it doesn't have any tactile feel to it when you press it, and it doesn't make a clicky sound. Like this keyboard here. That one's a clicky sound, the one that's off screen now, but these are going to be a lot more quiet. So what I'm going to do, I think, I'm not quite sure how to put this together, so let's just figure it out. Since I put in these hot swap things here, I can just set the key right in there. And I already tested these and plugged them in, and they do work. So this just goes in right here. And what I'm wondering is if I should maybe install this top plate first, like this, and then set the keys in. I think that's probably the best way to go, as opposed to installing the keys into the top plate and then putting them all in at once, because they do snap into here. Let me install the top plate first. So it comes with a bunch of different hardware, and the way it works is like this. I need to use these little screws, and I'll put a screw through the top of the plate. I'll just screw it on the back here. There we go. I'll just repeat these steps a couple of times. Hope everyone's having a good day. It's a beautiful day here in Idaho. I've got the window open right here to the side of me. It's really nice. It's like 46 degrees Fahrenheit, and which is pretty warm for us for March, I guess. And I'm just glad that all the snow's starting to melt and getting excited to do some good projects outside. But I'm really happy that I fixed my connection speed, that I'm able to stream better. I'm going to have to do some more streams. I've got another keyboard kit on the way, actually. I think I'll do another build. And now I have a little more experience getting this stream better so it's not so laggy, so it's actually bearable. At least I think it is. It says it's pretty good connection, so. And maybe we'll have to do some other fun live stuff. Maybe we'll do some live Inkscape tutorials or some Inkscape stuff. I'm working on a game, a little 2D game that's the artwork's all being created in Inkscape, and then the game is using Godot, open source. All that's open source, but that'll be pretty cool. I'd love to show you some of that stuff sometime too. If you were in the last stream, I have this little microscope USB camera that's pretty cool that I use to show. Maybe we can zoom in and show some of the circuitry on there too, now that it's all finished up. Okay, so this side is done, and so these standoffs just have it sit right up like that, and then this is the back part of the plate. So I'm just gonna, these just sit right through there. And this is just one style. This is the cheapest style case. They also had some acrylic. I think you can get wood. But the nice part about this keyboard is it's all open source. Hey, what's going on? Dyivy, good to see you in the chat. It's open source. This keyboard, this is the Corne keyboard we're building. It's an open source keyboard, which means you can download the schematics for the PCB board and change it and modify it. The firmware that the keyboard is running is called QMK firmware. It's also free and open source. And then this case, all the designs are all open source. So if you want to make your own custom case, you just download the designs. You could modify it in Inkscape. And then, because you can convert SVG files into machine code to cut it on like a laser cutter for acrylic or for wood. Is this going in here? So yeah, it's kind of exciting. I think this, you know, using open source keyboards and open source hardware on your computer. And that's awesome. Sam H Tech says, you told me about GIMP ages ago and I still use it. Thank you. Well, glad to hear that, Sam. Inkscape's pretty good. It's classic. It is definitely timeless. Although I really find myself using Inkscape a lot more than I do GIMP. For things that a lot of people use GIMP for, I use Inkscape for. But yeah, GIMP is definitely a good program. What's going on here? Maybe let me look. That's the problem. The tip I'm using is not the right size. Got this nice little combo kit here that has every screwdriver you'd ever want. So this is a star tip. That's gonna help that thread in better. So we'll put that in here. Much better. We'll tighten these guys. Oh, exactly what am I doing? So this is the second part of a stream. I started streaming earlier today. We're building this custom keyboard. So it's this is a split keyboard, and it's very minimal. So it has like 21 keys, I think. Well, 1, 2, 3, 3 times 5, so 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, 6, no. 3 times 6. So 20, what's that? 20, 18, 19, 20, 21. So it has 21 keys on it, 21 switches, and it's split between 2 different parts of the keyboard. Then you can program this keyboard to be whatever you want. So in theory, you could just build half the keyboard and use it as like just for gaming, and you can program each key to be a different thing. You know, some games, I'm not going to use this for gaming necessarily, but some games you have to like, there's like some key combos you press. You can just program a single key to do that. You could program a single key, when you press it, it prints out like a string of text. It types like a sentence. Like, good game, thanks for playing, everyone. Or just whatever you like, whatever you want it to do. I'm going to be using this keyboard for video editing and for Inkscape, and then for typing and all kinds of stuff. So it's an open source keyboard. The designs for it are free. So if you have there's companies that'll print the PCB for you. I purchased this as a kit, but if you have the means, the tools available, you could actually build this. It's a piece of, just like open source software, this is open source hardware. And so that's why I'm building this on the channel today. And I did a 2-hour live stream earlier, or 2.5-hour live stream. We started from the very beginning building this, just kind of fun, just for fun. Hello from Brussels, Chabik Gadi. Good to see you. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing these names right. Good to see you in the chat. Welcome, everyone. I still maybe don't have the right size. Let me go one step up on this star bit. Oh, you know what I'm using is, it's a too fine of a star bit. I got the wrong one. Let's try this guy. Well, we'll just stick with what we have. Just feels a little bit loose still. Getting these guys. William, welcome. Good to see you from El Salvador. Good evening. Wait, El Salvador? Hello, hi from Germany. Guten Tag, guten Abend, Deutschland. Yeah, we got people from all over the world joining us. All right. This keyboard was designed in has a Japanese designer. We can hop over to I'll show you the page real quick. So this is the GitHub page. There's a link in the description of the video too. So, but this is the page that tells all about this build. You can see different pictures of people that have built this keyboard. You can do a lot of different things with it, and yeah, check it out. But huge shout out to the designer. I can't see it exactly right here. Is it this? Yeah, Fustan I think is the original. That's the name printed on the board too. So really, really cool that people create things and then share them for all of us to use. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I'll make a video about the keyboard, Sam. I will make a video about it, just like in the style of my regular videos. It's very quick. The reason I'm doing this OBS stream right now is because I'm doing a tutorial series on Open Broadcaster software, OBS, for video recording. It's what I've used for years to do all my tutorials, and so I'm doing a tutorial series on it now. I have the first four videos already made. And they're already uploaded, and I'm going to be releasing them next week. And so I'll do some tutorials on live streaming and using OBS. It's a really cool program. There's actually a ton of features. You could just about use it as a video editor, but it's really good for doing live video. This cat's tutorials are top notch. Thanks, CB. Appreciate it. Yeah, I like to make good tutorials, and I'm getting better at it all the time, I think. All right. Gotta stop talking for just a sec here so I can focus on what I'm doing. We're in the home stretch, so this is about 3 hours in. Taking me about 3 hours to do this keyboard so far, and now we'll be done in about next 20 minutes or so. We'll be completely finished. I think we're just putting the case together. We're gonna put these black keycaps on here and these yellow Gatoron switches, and then we'll be done. The soldering's all done and finished. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, he says it's a nice studio here. It really is. This is the new studio behind me. And just like this keyboard, the studio is something I built. I don't have open source plans for it. I just kind of built this place. I really did. But I did turn in plans to the county for building it, but then I didn't build it exactly how like this whole upstairs wasn't included in the plans. It just, as we were building, it just kind of evolved, and I just built it, and the inspector didn't seem to care. So I don't really have plans for this place, but it is kind of an open source do-it-yourself studio that I built here. Hanno asks, did I cut it? No, so this board I didn't cut myself. I bought this kit. I think it was littlekeyboards.com. I'll have to include a link for that. But I bought this kit. But you can cut your own. That's what I did. I cut my own case with the Atrius keyboard when I built that one. I just laser cut it. And my friend just has a laser cutter in town close to where I live. And I'm going to go cut. I have another keyboard that I'm working on right now called the Ergodox. This is half of it. It has a lot more keys and switches. And I'm going to cut it out of acrylic. I'm going to do a wood top and then maybe acrylic for the center pieces. So it's going to be acrylic is the material. This material here is actually, what's it called? It's 3D printed. I'm blanking on it's the most common type of 3D print filament that is. All right, let's put this guy together here. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna build another Atrius keyboard out of wood. I'm gonna do a wood case because you can cut wood on those laser cutters too. They're really expensive, those machines, so I'm glad my friend has one. It doesn't cost a lot to rent the machine. There's online services too that you can So you draw it in Inkscape is what I'm going to do. You create the vector, and you can just send the SVG file to these companies, and they'll cut it on their laser machines. So this, for example, this is a PCB board, but you could cut it out of acrylic or even with PCB. I don't know if they'll accept an SVG or not. I think ultimately it gets turned into like G code, like machine code. But there's a lot of free software for doing that too. Was it KiCad? KiCad's like an open source, free open source software for doing PCB designs and circuitry. Yeah, DV says, making stuff yourself is always more fun than just buying it, I think. I completely agree. It's like they say, like, why buy it when you can build it for twice the cost? It's really true. Like, I don't care if things cost more. A lot of times you save money. Like when I built the studio, I saved a lot of money doing it myself. But this keyboard absolutely costs more than just buying a cheap keyboard. You get keyboards for $5 these days, but this one is going to be one of a kind, and it's custom. Oh, you know what my problem is? I might have different size risers here. Let me check this real quick. Oh, I wasn't paying attention here. So they sent, this kit has different size risers, and I've just been grabbing them and throwing them on. So now, let me just go through and see. This one seems to be almost all the same size. This one's bigger, just this one. That's why it wasn't going together very well. What's Sam saying? I was editing videos earlier for about 2 hours, and then my editing software crashed on me. I've learned I need to save it now and then. Yeah, that happens to me sometimes too. I do most of my editing in Shotcut, and it's, I guess, like my editing style, I've gotten it to be pretty stable. It doesn't crash hardly ever for me. I'm using Linux Mint and now Pop! OS on my machines. But when it does crash, I've found Shotcut has really good recovery, like really good. It auto saves like all the time for me. So I've never lost anything with Shotcut. I think Hayden Live I've lost some things though. And even like DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, that's a pain. My wife's doing some videos right now, and she's using Shotcut, and for some reason, she's doing it on Windows. And for some reason, hers are just really causing her, just her style of using it, she just does it differently than I do, and Shotcut doesn't like what she's doing. So a lot of it comes down to how you, I'm not sure exactly how you're using it. I got a problem here with my standoffs. I have to take this apart. William, that's true. Yeah, I like Olive also. I haven't used Olive much. It's still being developed a lot. Sam uses Sony Vegas 17. Yeah, I'd go back to Shotcut. I'm doing a video right now. Like I've been preparing it, and it's gonna be comparing. I'm not doing Sony Vegas, but I'm comparing HitFilm Express, Filmora by Wondershare. I'm doing a bunch of these like free video editors, but that are proprietary and like paid. Like they have a paid and a free version, and I'm comparing them to open source video editors. And I have a whole rubric made up of how I score them. So it'll be a good video. I've done all the research on it. I just need to make the video now. But it's kind of cool. And some of them, like HitFilm Express comes in really low. Filmora comes in pretty low. It's interesting what things they are and aren't good at. But I'll have to take a look at Sony Vegas and maybe see if I can throw it into the mix there. I try to stay away from all things proprietary. But, alright. Let's fix this, and let me just hold up for a sec and figure out what's going on. Then I'll talk some more. All right, so these standoffs now should all be the same size. Let's get these long ones out of here. What software are you using to do the split screen? This is Open Broadcaster, OBS. So it's really cool. I can do my screen share. I can do just myself and other things, and I can drag these around and move them in real time. And that's what I was mentioning earlier. I'm doing a tutorial series on OBS right now. I mean, I'm making it. It's going to come out next week. And it's a good software. It's really, really good software to learn. Good for live streaming. A lot of people use it for streaming games. I use it for all of my video recordings. So it's good. You could basically run like a news station. You can do like scrolling headlines across the bottom. You can play video. You can do slideshows and presentations. Good software. And it's free and open source. I'm sure I've missed some comments here. Blender video editing. Oh, Bruno. Hello from Brazil. Hello, hello. I missed you there. Well, I'm glad this is... I streamed earlier today, and I'm glad I figured out how to get a better connection. It was really laggy. I couldn't do real time like this in the chat. I was like 5 minutes delayed before I'd see the chat comment come up, and then it'd take me I'd respond to it right away, but you wouldn't hear it for 5 minutes because of my super slow internet. But I'm glad I seem to have remedied that problem. Alright, this one's done. Let's grab this one. So this one needs to be... Just gotta get that guy out of there somehow. I don't want to... Well, I'll just take this back off. Ing Zimmerman, hello. Ing Zimmerman. Are you from Germany also? We've got another German in here. I know Zimmerman's a common German name. Hi, Steve's very own. Hello, welcome. Oh, Shane Milton, I see, commented earlier on using DaVinci Resolve on Linux. That's really cool. That's what I use DaVinci Resolve on. I love it. I love that they have good Linux support. It's one of the very few proprietary programs that I kind of like, even though I don't really use it. But it's pretty. It's cool. It's cool that they have Linux support. Very few video editors have Linux support. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I'm good to be streaming. This is my first time really live streaming on this channel, so it's kind of fun. Definitely different than most of my videos. I try to make a short, concise video. I'm kind of very conscious about wasting the viewer's time. But in this video, it's a different format where it's just sort of like casual, come and go, hang out with me while I build this keyboard. It's not a tutorial or a lesson or anything. Wow, between my messing up on the keyboard and then not having the right bit, it's challenging to get these. Let's just find the right bit. What have we got here? It's a hex. It's like a really small hex bit. Oh, here we go. I think I'm using a star bit, and I need to be using a hex bit. Oh, that was my problem. Yeah, this is what you can't probably see it there. This will speed things up a lot. Okay, so, and then also because I was talking, I put my, I used the wrong size standoff. There's two different sizes in this kit. I think it's hard to see. I think those are all the same size now. Do you use any prompter systems in your videos? What Ken asks. Prompter. You mean like a teleprompter? If you mean like a teleprompter, I don't use anything. When I do my tutorials, I don't script them like that. I do kind of script my videos. I write out beforehand what I want to talk about. But I don't have a written script that I follow during the video, no. But my videos do take me a long time. I probably do about 10 takes of each video until I get the right one. So I'll do a complete video start to finish about 10 times before I kind of get the right words out that I want to say. The Wild T3, I love your videos. Thank you. Thank you very much. What are you doing? And Anant asks, well, we're building a keyboard. This is a custom keyboard, a right and a left side. And we're just about to put the keys on. I'm putting the case together right now, and then I'm going to put the keycaps on. And this is a new custom keyboard that's using open source firmware, free and open source firmware available on GitHub. And the hardware design of the keyboard itself, it's called the Corne keyboard. And it's designed by Fustan. It's a Japanese designer. And it's also open source. So we're just doing some open source hardware and software today. Yeah, QMK. Arvin, this is going to be running QMK firmware. That's correct. In fact, I already flashed it. So these are the microcontrollers like Arduinos. And I've already flashed the open source firmware. The switches I'm using are Gatoron yellow. It's a Gatoron yellow switch. I forget, I don't know if they're called yellows. I just barely got these. I did another keyboard build earlier. I did these creams. Are they cherry? Oh no, the kale. These are the kale creams, is what they were. I like these, and they're lubed. I bought them pre-lubed, so they're super soft and they're really nice. But I've never used these before. It's a linear switch, these yellows. So we'll see how they go. I like linear. I don't mind tactile. I don't really care for clicky. Yeah, Milky. That's right. Yeah, Milky. I'm not super into. I love keyboards, but I really don't follow. I really don't know a whole lot about them compared to like the diehard fans. So I don't know. I'm not all super up to date on all the different types of switches, but I do like linear switches. Okay. So that's how that's supposed to go together. So now I've got both of these together the way they're supposed to be. Let's put some switches in. So if you guys aren't familiar with these switches, I know there's maybe some of you that aren't. They just have 2 pins on the back. When I built this earlier, this does have backlight, so you can see kind of close up here. Each of these has an LED. This little square thing up above that hole, this white square is an LED, and it has red, green, and blue lights in there, and so you can mix that to get like lots of different color combinations. And so that's why this switch only has 2 pins on the back of it, because it just is a contact switch. You press it in, and it sends to this computer, this controller over here, whether the key's been pressed or not. And then in addition to that functionality, we can control the light, the backlighting behind this key via these LEDs behind every switch. And these have a hot swappable bay. If I can see I put a thing in here so that I'm able to install the key, use it for a while, and then take it out and install a different one later if I want to. And that's using these hot swap, what are they called? I don't know if they're called bays, but it's a hot swap part of the keyboard. Whereas like this keyboard that I'm working on, the Ergodox, the keys are soldered directly in. So if a switch goes bad, like I do have a bad one on one of these boards, like you press it in and it just stays stuck down, I'm going to have to unsolder that, pull it out. And so these hot swaps are kind of nice that way. Anyway, let's go in and push these in. So yeah, I'll just start with this one here. We just press it in just like that, and now that's in place. This is the fun part. You can buy keyboard kits that basically come just like this. They come with just the case, and the hot swaps are already soldered in, and it's just ready to go. That's if you think this looks cool and you want to build your own keyboard and you've never done it before, I'd recommend just buying a kit that's already built, and then you buy your own switches, you buy your own keycaps, and then you still get the experience of building your own keyboard, but you don't have to worry about soldering and doing some of the more challenging parts, at least on your first build if you don't want to. And you can still use the open source QMK firmware, and you can still program the keyboard layout to be what you want. Arvin says, I built my keyboard. That's super cool. Yeah, building your own keyboard, something, actually I got inspired to do this by a YouTube commenter on this channel several years ago. I had done a video on building a Linux computer for the video studio like 2 or 3 years ago, and someone commented and said, hey, you should look into QMK firmware and mechanical keyboards, and I wasn't into it at the time. And so it's cool. It's definitely a hobby, and it's an expensive hobby. I mean, relatively. I guess it's cheaper than some hobbies, but it's a lot more expensive than just buying a regular keyboard. I've missed some comments in here, I'm sure. Thanks so much for joining me on the live stream, though, everybody. I want to watch, so like just now I just made a, well, didn't really make a mistake, but when I was pushing it in, I bent a pin. You can bend pins over, and then that switch wouldn't have worked. I would have found out eventually. So I just got to watch as I'm putting them in. I check the pins beforehand and make sure that they're going in nice and straight, and I press that in. They've got different tools. I'll show you the tools for the keycaps and for pulling the key. This is just a key remover, a switch remover. It grabs both sides of the switch and you just pull it out. And then there's also a keycap puller that I've got somewhere around here that's designed to pull off the actual caps of the keys. So this one I can tell is bent a little bit, so before I push it in, I'm going to try to straighten it. Yeah, expensive indeed, that's right. You are smart, says the Wild T3. Thank you very much. The thing about this stuff is, it's all just, I'm standing on the shoulders of like geniuses, like the guy that designed and built this, and I, read a bunch of build guides before doing this stream. So like, I think I am a smart person too, but at the same time, a lot of this stuff, it's what's so cool about the internet is that it's this global community where you don't have to know everything. You just have to know where to look and where to get the right information to do really cool things, and things that would normally require you to be really, really smart, I guess I would say. So I'm just super grateful for people that design and share. I think it's great. This is going to be cool. I'm excited to see what the RGB looks like on this. I can speed this process up by just dumping a few of these guys out. Yeah. Do you ever go on the dark web, Sam H? No, not really. Not like you're thinking. I mean, dark web is like officially like web parts of the web that aren't indexed. I use a lot of like cloud services and different things that aren't really indexed and not searchable on search engines. So I'm a huge fan of like dark web and privacy, but I don't necessarily do like a lot of the private dark web stuff. No. I'm using Tor right now though for my I just set up a Bitcoin node. And it's using Umbrel is what it's called. It's really cool. And so it basically routes all the traffic just for that node. It's on a Raspberry Pi 4, and it routes all the traffic through Tor. And it lets me access it from outside my local network using Tor without having to do like any port forwarding and stuff. So I'm actually thought that was pretty cool. That's really the extent of what I've really used like Tor though for. How about that Bitcoin? Is that what is that? 61,527? $62,000 for Bitcoin? I bought Bitcoin in 2011 for $10. I'm not even kidding. I bought 10 Bitcoin in 2011 because it goes right in line with like everything I'm about, right? Privacy and like freedom and open source. I love cryptocurrency and blockchain, so I've been involved for a long time, but I didn't keep all that. I sold it when it was like 20 bucks. So I bought it for 10, sold it for 20. So I doubled. I bought it for $100 and sold it at 200. And it was a couple months later, I thought I was super smart. I was like, oh man. Know it all. Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, but off and on, I do a lot with cryptocurrency now still. I do mining, so the whole office is heated with cryptocurrency miners. I've got Bitcoin miners heating the shop downstairs. And then up here, I'm doing some Ethereum and some script mining. And I've done a little bit of development. I've been to like conferences all over the world doing cryptocurrency stuff. But for as early as I got in on it, I should have made more money on it by now if I would have known what I was doing, what I was getting into more. I guess nobody did. But I'm still really happy about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. I think it's definitely gonna change the world for the better. It's a good thing. Yeah, it's good to be live, Know It All. This is my first time doing live streaming, and so it's been fun. WEF, what is that? Joe Anon? I like Monero. I like Monero a lot. I'm a Monero holder. Hey, Torinto T. Found my channel looking for Audacity tutorials. Awesome. Yeah, I have a lot of evergreen content. So I just hit 200,000 subscribers on this channel. And, you know, I put out a video and I'll get 500 views, 1,000 views. It tapers off at 1,000 views. So, like, I definitely don't have a lot of... I know I don't have a lot of diehard fan subscribers. But I have a lot of evergreen content, which is like content that people keep finding years and years from now. They'll come to it and find when they want to learn how to do something in Audacity or Inkscape. So I kind of have I like that setup where I don't have the pressure of having to create content all the time and be an entertainer. But I have content that's valuable for people, whether they're a subscriber or not. I think people subscribe to the channel to kind of bookmark and go back to tutorials, and you know, so they remember where they learned something. All right, let's. I have all the keys in now. I'm going to test the switches. So I'm going to plug in. Like I said, I already flashed the firmware to these, so they should work. And I just put a key map on. I didn't customize the key map. I found one on Reddit, and I just downloaded it. So let me use this keyboard real quick to do a... I'm using Pop OS. Was that you Know It All that told me about Pop OS? Someone told me about Pop OS. I'm just going to do some test typing here and test each of these keys. T-R-E-W-Q. What we've got is a backwards... Oh, okay. So I guess you guys can see this if you want. Let's go to screen and then go back into my... So what I'm doing is trying to figure out what keys. So I guess I'll just test and see. So the key map is definitely off right now. That's tab, but I'm just looking to see if all these switches work. This switch does not work. We got a bad switch. So let's pull it out. And that's because it was bent. Okay. I'll put the other one back in. Now it works. Okay. Great. All right. So that side works. I'm going to plug in the other side of the keyboard now and see if it works. That's tab. Oh, you know what I did? Okay, that switch doesn't work. So they're both, right now it's mirrored, so it's a QWERTY layout. Uh-oh. This one was not a bent pin. and it's still not working. So we'll have to figure that one out later. That one's also not working. Oh, that's just a ASDFG. Okay. So we're working here. Let's go back to our top-down view. So this switch here does not work. Let me move this so that at least I can see it. Okay. Why didn't that work? Let me just... Okay, maybe it's a bad switch. So in that case, I don't know that I've ever seen a bad switch before, but it's possible. Let's hope so. I don't want to take this apart and have to solder something, fix a solder joint or something. That is not working. Well, I'll just pull that one out for now. Oh. I can show you guys what's happening here. We'll use my little... So, it didn't get soldered. That's the problem. This is going to be a little bit crazy for a little bit. Let's zoom up here. Yes, I don't know if you can even see. It's probably a bad idea. But there's a diode in here that did not get soldered correctly. Oh, it's hard to position this. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, let's change that. There's a diode that didn't get soldered correctly, and so I'm going to have to... Oh, I can do it real quick. I'll do it right now. Let me turn the soldering iron on. Although, it should be registering something. I thought the diode was just for ghosting. Let me minimize this. Troy tipped me $3. Thanks, Troy. You are the first person that's ever tipped me in the history of this YouTube channel. But this is the first live stream I'm doing. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. I recognize you too. I've seen you around on the comments on different videos. Got a multimeter? I do have a multimeter. Let's check it. Well, let's see what's going on here. Did I check the PCB at the start? No, I did not. But I mean, that would have been a lot of checking. Who's got time for that? But luckily, if this isn't the problem that I'm seeing, it is a problem. There's a piece that I didn't solder, and I can see it right there. So I'll show you guys. Now I'll show you with this camera, and we'll do it. Let me turn my temperature up on the soldering iron. Okay. Now we'll hop back over here, and you won't get as bad of vertigo as I gave you last time. So this is the one I pointed out to myself so I can find it on the camera. This camera is so hard for me to navigate around. Come on now. There it is. Look at that guy. Didn't even get soldered. Zoom, focus a little bit. So this guy needs to be soldered. So, where's my solder at? Oh, here it is. Let's solder that guy. Look at this one. This one's like leaning. This one's going crazy too, but it's making contact at least. I doubt that's what's causing the problem though. But it is strange that it would be on right at the same place where we're having an issue. So let me just pop a switch in here. Get back out of this view. Oop. Yeah, this is the worst part of building. Yeah, it really is. But you learn. That's how you learn. Okay, that's the one that was bad. So let me go somewhere I can type. And plug in the keyboard. Thanks for being patient, guys, and just sort of hanging out with me here. Especially while I troubleshoot this thing. Alright, so it's that key there. It works. That was it. Excellent. That's always good. So at least all my letter keys work now. That's super cool. Troy says it's for all the TJ Free Caden Live stuff. Thanks a lot, man. That's super cool. I'm happy to help, happy to share. I'm glad more people are using Caden Live and some of this free and open source software. What Linux distro do you use? Asked Sam. I'm using, this is a Pop OS that I'm on right now. I just started using it. I've used Linux Mint for the most part. Rossmann Repair. So, is this it? Oh, I better put the back of this on here. Put this back together now that I fixed that part. And then I need to figure out my key map. Oh, I'll put the keycaps on is what I'll do. Rick Dvorsky asks, customizable keyboard kit. Yeah, it is. This is the Corne. It's an open source keyboard. And yeah, you can customize it. It's running open source firmware, QMK. So you can customize it any way you want. So I'm going to put some special keyboard macros in here for doing video editing in Shotcut. And also for Inkscape, because those are two of the programs that I use like every day. So hopefully this will speed up my productivity a little bit. I'm also learning a method of typing called Colmac. For those of you that don't know, that's why my keycaps are going to be blank. So it's moving the letters around on the keyboard to different locations to be more efficient and hurt your hands less. I've never had trouble with having pain while typing, but it's going to help me type fast. It's already helping me type a lot faster using Colmac. So that's it. Thanks, Torin T. See you later. This is a pre-recording. No, it's not. This is live, but it could be delayed. I've got about a 10-second delay is what it looks like. Yeah. Earlier, it seemed like a recording last time because I had like an 8-minute delay because of my super slow internet. All right. You want to see the keycaps? Here's the keycaps. All right. So these aren't anything too fancy. This whole build is going to be very, very cheap. Nothing very pricey about it. I think these are going on any direction, so I'm just going to press these guys on. Oh, if they go on. Uh-oh, maybe I went too cheap on these keycaps. They don't fit. What in the world? Are these yellows a different? Let's try it on this one and see. This is how you know that it's really live, is when you have issues like this. All right, I got another keycap over here to see if this one works. Yeah, so that works. Wow, are these really? Maybe it's just that one. Can I really not fit these on here? Oh man, that's not gonna go. These. That's what happens when you buy stuff on eBay from unofficial sources. Let's get rid of those. I've got some cool keycaps I'll put on here. So let me go grab them real quick. Oh yeah. Pull that guy off. Right, one sec. All right. Red Dragon 805 hand programmable. That's cool. I don't know that specific one. Is that just a one-sided, like a macro pad, like a one-side keyboard? Yeah, that's really cool. Speeding up, programming your keyboard for making it more productive. That's awesome. So yeah, these should be the keycaps that we're doing right here. I bought these for a different keyboard I was going to do, and I didn't end up using them. But I kind of like this. I kind of like this look here. It was for a plank keyboard. So I'll just do the QWERTY thing. Why not? Then I can get my indents for my fingers in the correct spot. So yeah, we'll see how this looks. They just press on just like that. And I better, oh, I got a keyboard over here I can look at to figure out where they go. So like, I don't know if you guys are like me, but like, I did terrible, I still do really terrible touch typing, not touch typing, terrible single finger typing if I'm typing with the QWERTY layout. And it's bad. I don't know where all the, I kind of know where they are after years and years and years of using the layout, but I've never really been a fast typer or a good typer. And I always have to look down at the keyboard. But since I've been doing Colmac now, the Colmac, I've really learned to type without looking at the keyboard, and it's much quicker and much smoother. Where's the A at? Yeah, this will look okay. I'm not going to keep these ones on here permanently because I want the color to really shine through the keys, and these aren't going to let it do that. And I want a darker look too. But we'll put them on for testing, and I've got to reconfigure my key map. Oh, I know why. I know why they're both. I didn't plug in my TRS cable. Let's do that. That's why. That's why they were both showing up as being the QWERTY side. So I wonder if this will work. Here's this 02. Alright. So now with this plugged in, let's see what we got here. Well, we got something different. It's a custom layout. POI. Cool. It's working now. Let's unplug this. Let's go back into here. A beginner Linux distribution instead of Windows. I would say Linux Mint is what I've kind of been telling people. But Pop! OS seems pretty good actually so far. I kind of like Pop! OS and I like Linux Mint. Oh yeah, Bluetooth between the hands. That'd be kind of cool. No, it's a cable. It's this TRS cable. Bluetooth. That'd be interesting. Thanks a lot, Troy. Really good to see you. This is taking me longer than it should to put these keys on. H, J. Yeah, I'll probably stop once I get all the keys on, I think I'll stop the live stream and then I'll figure out my key map and my RGB backlighting. Figure out what's going on there. And then I'll do a spotlight video just kind of showing the whole keyboard. Oh, I know what's wrong. That's not supposed to be there. That's not that, but this is right. This side's okay. J, K, L. Yeah, I do use VLC. Do I have a favorite media player is what Kevin asks. And I do use VLC. I know a lot of people like there's some other alternatives, but I really like VLC. This isn't right either. These are all off. Let me grab my Keycap Puller real quick. Yeah, this is that keycap puller I was telling you about. It just goes over top of the keys and you can pull them off. You can use this on like any regular keyboard. And when you buy keycaps, sometimes it comes with a different type of keycap puller, but it can scratch the sides of your keys. And so I don't like using those ones. And then sometimes you actually pull the key out too, but yeah, VLC is king. VLC is pretty good. What I like about VLC is you can do desktop recording with VLC. You can do 360. You can watch 360 video and like pan around in VLC. Yeah, you can do some pretty cool stuff. I think in my Agisub tutorials, I did. You can like hard code subtitles onto videos using VLC. It's definitely a powerful program, but if you're just wanting to just play media, like just play music and stuff, I don't know if it's the best, but it plays all different types of video. Come on. Oh, just about. Someone's flying today. That's that. Alright. So this guy then is going to be C. Oh, I'm gonna want the B to be over here though, huh? I'm gonna want that to be B. Yeah. That to be N. Okay. With Know-It-All's asking, try more live streams, video editing, and Inkscape. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Some live stream doing that stuff. Well, I think it'd be good. I don't know. At the same time, I like to save people time, and so if I'm doing live streams just take longer. It takes a lot longer to get the content out, and so like I was watching a good video I need to make is how to configure Open Broadcaster OBS for streaming on low bandwidth internet, because that's the problem I had, and the tutorials for it are just terrible. It takes them like 6 minutes to get into the video, like 6 minutes of introduction before they actually start doing something, and I think it'd be nice to just have a quick 30-second tutorial showing how to do that. Alright. Move these guys over. Yeah, see, this build's definitely taking longer. This probably should be a 4-minute video if it were to be made in like video form. But it's fun to do. It's fun to kind of hang out in live streams if you don't have anything else to do. You know, hang out. I watch live streams every now and then. Just kind of, you get to know the streamer a little bit, and it's kind of fun. Oh, Sam, if you have Android, have you ever tried installing custom ROM? Custom ROM? Well, yeah, like custom apps. What I do? I've got the Google Pixel right now. I don't think it's jailbroke. My last phone I jailbroke and did some custom stuff on. So yeah, I do use Android. I don't like iPhone. So yeah, I've done some custom stuff. Let's move these guys all over. What's that thing? Oh, it's the key plate for it. Yeah, I've never. So you can lube these keys. You open them up and you put some of this stuff, this like lube. You just put a tiny bit on there. But I've never lubed my keys before. It makes them just smoother. So when you press, it's just a smoother feeling. I've never done that before, so I imagine it is time consuming. But this is time consuming, putting the keys on wrong. We got they need a 10-minute mark for ads. What's that? Live streams? I didn't monetize this, did I? Well, I didn't want to. If I did, I just started streaming. I don't think it monetized, but if it did, that's too bad. I actually don't really, especially on smaller, this is not going to be a really popular video, I don't think. Like, I hate to monetize videos that aren't that popular, because it's not really worth it for me, and I hate taking people's time for that too, so. But I think YouTube just started monetizing now. They just do whatever they want now. So even if you say no ads, they'll just play ads and just won't pay you for them. Sometimes I think that's what they, isn't that what they started doing? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Sam. Oh, gotcha. No, I have not done that. I have not, like, basically customized, like, the OS on Android, which would be cool. I would like to get a more, definitely some more privacy respecting, software or the operating system on Android would be really cool if it could respect privacy a little bit more. So that would be, that'd be cool. I've looked into getting, they have some of those phones that are just pre-built with like all open source software. Yeah, maybe that's kind of what you're talking about. Like, was it like Core Boot and stuff like that, where you, like the everything is like from the ground up, it's all open source. There we go. Well, there you have it. I might just, for completion's sake, we'll just throw some of these things, even though these aren't what go here. We'll throw some keys on. We'll put some fun orange ones here, since we've got them anyway. So what I do with my Atrius, this is my space bar. This is my backspace. So when I'm typing, I'll space bar like this, I'll backspace like this, and then when I jump over to this key, it is, we got left, right, up, down. This key is my shift. I'll put that on the left side. This is my shift? No, this is my function key, and this is my shift key. So if I want to do a capital G, I'd shift and then G to do capital. And if I hold this one down, it turns everything over here into a number pad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I have a lower key there, so I'd have 0 would be over here, I guess. Yeah, that's what my Atrius does. This is going to have a little bit different layout because it's just a different keyboard. Yeah, we can put some cool little keys on here, though, just for fun. Now let's put these brown keys. This is a hodgepodge. Like I said, not the official keycaps that are going to go on here. Left up. That's part of the problem, is if you want to do a custom keyboard with a custom key map layout, and then also have your keycaps say what the key is, it can get a little bit difficult because you got to get a bunch of custom keys to do that. But you can have custom keys made. People do it all the time. Have a custom key made with a custom print on it. Just gets a little pricey and a little kind of challenging sometimes. Let's just do, I want it to look kind of nice. I guess we'll do an orange one here and a black one here. Now I've got keys on everything. So these are the keys I was going to put on it if you're just joining, but they didn't fit. They were too small. I'm going to have to figure out a way to make those work on something else. And then this part, oh, I didn't put that part on, but this part goes over top. I guess I can do that. That's what these tall standoffs are for. Yeah. Do that real quick. Actually, I won't do that because I'll take the back plate off again if I'm going to do that. And I've already done that like 4 times on this live stream, so I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end the live stream now, and I'm going to go ahead and spend some time figuring out the key map I want on this new keyboard. I'm going to figure out how to get my RGB working and doing cool little patterns. and then I'm going to make a video and upload it, a nice concise video talking about everything I've talked about in this live stream, as far as the keyboard goes, and split keyboards and the different options for it, and the open source nature of this particular keyboard. And I will upload that video at a later time. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me with this live stream. It's kind of just been an experiment. The first half of it, if you saw earlier today, was super laggy and I had issues with, so I've learned a lot and kind of figured out how to do live stream. Seems like even though I have slow internet, I'm going to be able to do some live streams in the future. So I'm not sure how often I'll do a live stream, but maybe we can do them every now and then. But yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate all you guys that subscribe and just stop in and your comments. Hope you have a great day, and look forward to catching you in a future video. Take care, guys.